Greetings friends, my name is Pavel Steinmach and now we'll dive in the top news of this day. The Security Service of Ukraine reported on the successful use of self-developed Sea Baby maritime drones. The development of the maritime drone program by Ukraine is a response to the aggression of the Russian Federation in the Black and Azov Seas. Ukraine's actions in the Black Sea are adequate to the threats posed by the Russian fleet. The Navy of Ukraine warned in advance which objects are considered targets. All targets hit by maritime drones are legal in accordance with Ukrainian legislation and international law. Naval drones have proven themselves as a successful means of conducting hostilities. On their account, they destroyed Olenegorski Gornyak, the CIG tanker, and damaged Kerch bridge in 2023. Maritime drones are capable of operating in the entire Black Sea water area. Safe places for the Russian fleet no longer exist.
Our drones are manufactured at one of the underground factories in Ukraine. Today we have many different interesting operations in the process of development and implementation, in particular in the Black Sea. I promise you, it will be a surprise, especially to our enemies. Vasyl Maluk, head of the Security Service of Ukraine, in an interview with CNN.
The Ukrainian Navy has reported that Ukraine has neutralized 5 Russian Federation landing ships, now positioned as close to the coast as possible. Dmytro Pletenchuk, the spokesperson for the Ukrainian Navy, conveyed this information. Pletenchuk highlighted that this development prevents the Russians from replenishing their Black Sea fleet, despite their efforts to bolster the fleet under the guise of exercises before potential large-scale invasion. The outcome has been the deactivation of 5 out of 6 newly introduced large landing ships. He noted that this might further increase. He emphasized that this primary route for ship transfer, the Bosphorus Canal, is inaccessible to Russia. While Russia does possess 4 flotillas and a feasible shipping channel in the Caspian Sea, limitations also exist due to geopolitical dynamics involving neighboring countries like Azerbaijan and Iran. Pletenchuk noted that in theory Russia might attempt to transport certain ship types through the inland waters of the mainland, although this option could entail size restrictions. Ultimately, this situation has significantly constrained the operational capabilities of Russia's Black Sea fleet. The grain agreement was scaled by Russia, but the ships have already started sailing to Ukrainian ports. Yesterday, the container ship Yosef Shuttle became the first ship that departed from Odessa to the Bosphorus through the temporary sea corridor established by Ukraine. The temporary grain corridor was established by Ukraine in agreement with the International Maritime Organization as an alternative to the grain agreement, from which the Russian Federation withdrew. Yosef Shuttle departed exactly 1 month after the last shipment of the vessel as part of the agreement with the Russian Federation, and proves that the grain corridor is possible even without Moscow agreement. The temporary grain corridor is laid out in a 12-mile zone in the territorial waters of Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria and Turkey, which are subject to the sovereignty of these states. With the exit from the grain agreement, Russia lost the authority to look after ships moving through the new sea corridor. Any provocations by the Russian Federation against vessels plying the temporary maritime corridor will be a gross violation of international maritime law and an encroachment on the sovereignty of coastal states. But all this doesn't mean that Russia won't port infrastructure. The grain infrastructure in Odessa region has already suffered most from Russian strikes. As a result of numerous missile attacks on July 19, 2023 alone, 60,000 tons of agricultural products, which were planned to be sent to China, were destroyed. Disruption of export routes in the Black Sea causes problems for millions of people around the world. Russia hit the ports the day before.
Russian terrorists again targeted our ports, our infrastructure, which is involved in ensuring not ours, but the common global food security. In just 1 month since Russia's attempts to undermine the Black Sea Grain Initiative, this was the seventh massive Russian attack today. The port of Reni, the port of Izmail, Pivdенny port, the port of Odessa, the port of Chernomorsk, Mykolaiv. Every Russian attack on them is a blow to global food prices, a blow to social and political stability in Africa and Asia. The basic things that give every society a normal life are food on the family table. No terrorist in the world, except for Russia, has ever attacked the security of so many nations at once, so blatantly and deliberately.
The increase of global prices for wheat and sunflower oil is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of its negative consequences. Russia should not use food as a weapon. Ukrainian athletes will participate in the Olympic Games in Paris in the summer of 2024 if there are no official teams from Russia and Belarus. It was stated by Ukrainian Ministry of Youth and Sports. Ukraine must be represented at the Olympics so that the athletes can represent our country with dignity and demonstrate that Ukraine is, was, and will be part of the global community. The participation of Russian and Belarusian athletes under national flags is categorically unacceptable and may become a reason for Ukraine's withdrawal from the competition. The performance of the Russians and Belarusians under a neutral flag is the limit of compromise that Ukraine is ready to take.
If Russian athletes will be at the Olympics, then Russia propagandists will try to turn this sport festival into a propaganda festival, as Hitler once did. I believe that the International Olympic Committee will not allow the aggressor to do this. I also do not rule out that the Russians will make a gesture of goodwill and say that they will not go to the Olympics, to which no one invites them anyway. Vadim Hutsait, Minister of Youth and Sports of Ukraine, in interview with AFP.
Russian aggression caused irreparable damage to Ukrainian sports, murders and injuries of athletes, destruction of sports infrastructure, etc. Russian athletes, many of whom are military personnel, are also responsible for the crimes. The Olympic Games should not be a platform for whitewashing or legitimizing actions that are completely contrary to the principles and values of international sports. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching and stay updated. Subscribe to our UATV English channel on YouTube for more news from Ukraine. Your support really matters. Goodbye.